Tonight's Arco top-tier stat line, Shohei Otani. 23 home runs on the season, no more. That's the most in franchise history through the team's first 60 games.
I mean, incredible. I mean, he drives the ball out to all fields. He is must-see TV. Every time he comes up to the plate, everybody stops to watch because you know something special is going to happen. We even thought maybe he was going to walk off today, this game, with a home run the other way, but just fell short. But, man, the one he did hit, that was an absolute bomb.
Certainly was. Jerry, he is on pace for 62 home runs this season. You should break down what he did on number 23 tonight.
You know, we talk about special athletes, special players. This is a historic franchise. This Dodger team, and 23 bombs in 60 games. We got to go access 360 and break this down. First pitch swinging, he gets going to breaking ball. Center cut, does not miss it. We talk about light tower power. That's what the Big Show possesses. Outstanding swing. He knew right away after he made contact. It was launched. Exit velo 103.7. But with that exit velo, the ideal launch angle is 31 degrees. A la Dave Winfield back in the day, who wore 31 all the time. Kind of like Dave Winfield, Ohtani possesses that light tower power. One more look at it once again. Hang time, 5.5 seconds. Jordan-esque hang time, John.
There it is.
Love seeing it. Again, Shohei Otani is doing special things at the plate. And you got to remember, he's getting ready to pitch in the second half. So he's throwing bullpens, sim games as well. So he's got to be a little tired. But no, he continues to do amazing things at the plate. One of the best athletes we've ever seen.
Carl's Jr. moment of the game, Jerry, and is Shohei Otani with home run number 23 on the season, tying him for the Major League lead.
He's going to get a breaking ball center cut, and the Big Show does not miss it. Light tower power. We talk about hitting a ball into the night. He did that even at Dodger Stadium. The concentration, head down, short to the ball, but long through it. And I would love the kind of nice little head nod. Yep. I got through that. I got all of it. It's a good feeling.
You know, he hit it a long way. The ball wasn't carrying much once it turned into nighttime tonight, and the temperatures really cooled off. Dodgers fall 4-3 in 10 innings. Let's head inside the clubhouse and hear from tonight's starting pitcher, Dustin May, with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Dustin, when you look at just your outing today, obviously for them to start with that home run, how did you find settling in after that? Because it seemed like you kind of found your rhythm probably there until like that fifth inning.
Yeah, it's probably not best idea to start a game throwing a sinker kind of middle to one of the best players in the game. Probably a good thing that he took advantage of it, kind of settled me in, and felt like I started going fifth inning, just kind of some weak stuff, and then bad executed on a couple of throws, and then they took advantage of that as well.
Have you found just kind of now, months now into the season, kind of where you're at on the mound, just kind of rhythm and thing with your body? Do you feel like you're in a spot where you like to be? Because it seems like the results are now kind of more in a more consistent situation.
I feel like I'm in an okay spot. There's definitely some room to grow, but the biggest thing for me at this point, I'm healthy. I feel healthy, like there's no pain. It's my first time in June, so that's exciting for me. Just got to keep building off of it.
Did you know you set a career high in innings tonight for a season? And
yeah.
I mean, what has it been like to, like you said, kind of be healthy and be able to kind of work through things and build off starts and just kind of be out there and kind of keep building off things? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a long time since I've been able to actually feel healthy and go pitch and compete. So just trying to remember what it felt like in 2019 when I was able to throw the full season and get all of the reps under my belt. It's kind of hard to feel the same things because it's a different body. It's a different way that I feel now than I did then. But it's a good thing to build off of.
What were you just kind of feeling after you got out of that jam in the fourth when you were coming off the mound on the strikeout to Beatty?
Oh, it was just exciting. Definitely. I mean, we didn't have any runs on the board, so I wanted to try to keep it at one as long as possible because, like I said, I gave up a solo shot to start the game. It's never a good thing to do. But yeah, it was a big positive boost in my head.
How have you been kind of preparing to see how your body reacts this many innings into a season? Have you been asking around, getting help at all?
No, I mean, I feel good. I've been recovering very well. I've been doing my routine, like in between starts, what I did before. It's kind of the same as it has always been. It's just I'm not in pain. So that's kind of really where I'm at.
Yeah, Dustin May admitting he would love to have that second pitch of the baseball game back, the one he threw to Francisco Lindor that he hit out for a home run. But 6 innings, Nomar, you allow 2 runs most nights, that's going to win you a ball game.
Yeah, especially with this offense. And, we talked about what was the key before the game, and we said, his last outing against the Guardians, he did a really good job keeping the ball out of the middle part of the plate, more on the corners. When he did have one over the middle of the plate, they took advantage of it. We're going to go to the K zone and see exactly it happened again. But at the same time, wasn't a 3-run bomb. It was early in, and we heard Dustin May talk about it. Said, listen, you can't give a sinker over the middle of the plate against one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. They're going to take advantage of it. And he also said it settled him down. That went over the middle of the plate, or the heart of the plate. All right, it's a solo shot, but yeah, you have to settle down, and he did. Now all of a sudden he comes back with that nasty slider underneath the hand. We got to bust out the filthy meter when it breaks that much. Not only that, when it almost hits the batter. This is another swing. It almost hit where the batter's going, wait, that's strike 3, and I got to go back to the dugout after getting hit. And then now he's really finding his release point with that breaking ball, getting it underneath of the hands. You saw how excited he was. This one, once again, over the middle of the plate. We talk about catching the corners. That one, I think they were fortunate that it ended up being a ground rule double, but then you really have to mentally lock back in to minimize it right there, and he did it.
We talk about movement and location. We know Dustin May has velocity, but when he is on, when he has a chance to be special, he's got movement, obviously location. He had that majority of the night. 2 runs, 6 innings. You take that every single time from a pitcher, especially with our offense. It just didn't happen for us offensively tonight. Tip your hat to the Mets pitchers. But all in all, I love where Dustin May is trending. He continues to trend upward, and he's continuing to build on his previous starts.
I think with Tanner, it's just mislocation. I think that it's, you look at the Alvarez, the Lindor was down, but it was middle. I just think it's just sort of just missing in the big part of the plate or the wrong part of the plate, given a particular hitter. And, my eyes and talking to our pitching guys, the stuff's good. It's just the command just isn't where it needs to be right now. It just seems like if probably so, if the stuff is there and you're not kind of finally commanding the baseball, that certainly does speak to mechanical issues, and it's probably really minute, but obviously making a big difference, because obviously the intent isn't to go to the middle part of the plate where hitters like to swing the bat.
Obviously you guys are kind of short-handed in the pen, but has it reached a point with him where he needs a reset or a softer landing spot in some of these games?
Yeah, I think that there's also, we're still trying to win games, and obviously you have to look at who's available and, who can handle leverage and things like that. And I think, to be quite honest, we're relying a lot on 2 rookies. And so you got to give credit to Jack and Ben, but it's the other guys' responsibilities as well, who've been through the trials and had a lot more experience in those 2 players. So I just don't feel it's right to put everything on those 2 young players. I don't.
Do you feel like you have another option at closer?
Right now it's kind of how the game, plays out, and you try to get to the 9th inning with a lead, and we came back, fought back in the 9th today, and and in other games you have to kind of pick matchups and who's throwing the baseball well and who you believe in and who can kind of manage that situation. And so there's not one particular closer right now, and I think I've shown that, using different guys and leverage and finishing games and things like that. But yeah, right now there is no dedicated closer.
If you're in a safe situation the next couple games and the matchups on paper look favorable for Tanner, would you go to him still, or would you consider?
Yeah, I would. And I think that it's one of those things that sometimes we don't have the luxury always of having a reset for guys given, the inexperience, the usage of certain guys. But there are guys, there's a few guys that I feel comfortable finishing a game with, though.
Was Mookie available?
Yeah, Mookie was available.
With the pinch hit with Conforto and Smith, kind of how would that play out?
I was just kind of wanting to wait as long as I could to see if they were going to keep Castillo in the game, to potentially give Michael a different matchup with Budo. But at the end of the day, I was going to take my chance on Will getting a hit against a neutral Budo and then Tommy getting a hit.
For as long as Dustin's been here, does it surprise you that he has a career high in starts and innings pitched today?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's worked hard to get back. He's been very efficient. I think that just the pitch mix has been really, really good. And I think the last few, Dalton's done a fantastic job with him. And, he's strong. And so, there's a lot more in there. And so not terribly surprised, but yeah, it's interesting given his workload over the last couple of years. And I just realized that this is the most he's thrown. So, but I've